I mean, you leave there, they have you thinking Poe's going to take over the world.
Yeah.
It might.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dickens Turf Talk. Today I've got some experts back with us again to talk some overseeding of some different grass species. Today I've got Mr. Jason Benefield, Mr. Treyhart Sook, and Mr. Drew Sullivan, the master of potions.
Good morning.
Man, myth, legend.
Yeah, amen. All right, so Drew, I've got a question to start off with you. We're overseeding Bermuda. When should you do it? In the fall.
Why do you give me the hard question? No, dealing with a lot of coaches or athletic field groundskeepers, you probably want to look at what your schedule allows, because you definitely want to have no activity on that playing field for a couple, 3 weeks, preferably longer to get it established. And you want that Bermuda grass to be slowing down some. So it might be a little bit more temperature related than doing cool season like turf, fescue. I like to usually think the end of September, 1st of October to be going in there. It's usually working. There are things you can do, to slow your Bermuda down on your overseed. You can spray growth retardants on there. That'll keep it from growing a little bit, which if you're not doing that on your Bermuda maintenance plan, you ought to be doing it anyway. But that'll help you, and then just get it mowed down tight. So I think end of September, 1st of October, depending on your schedule. Everybody's got their own schedule.
Yeah.
Probably need to let it be done.
Anything else you guys got to add on that one?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's, again, going back to prep, go out there and get it where you can get the seed to the ground. But
Yeah. Okay.
One thing you might want to be kind of think about, hopefully you've been your Bermuda is your main stand of grass here. Mm-hmm. And I think, your perennial ryegrass is going to be, your color during the dormant season. If you've got some play early in the spring, with baseball where you're not playing on a dormant Bermuda, but you don't necessarily want to go in there and aerate the heck out of that Bermuda the end of September, 1st of October, because you don't want to do damage to that root system. You want to do it when it's really growing. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you've aerated through the season. So in saying that, you might want to scalp that Bermuda down tight to get your seed soil contact there.
Yeah.
Or maybe, detach just a little bit, but you don't want to cut into those roots of that Bermuda in the fall.
Would you cut it down lower?
Yes, I would definitely cut it down and get that thatch off.
Yeah.
Get your clippings off of it before you put your ryegrass down, and really water it in heavy. I mean, I think that helps you more than anything there to get it down to the soil.
a lot of guys will, when you're doing that, you'll put the seed out and you may drag it.
Right.
You're trying to get that seed through the canopy because, you can oversee the Bermuda lawn and it looks amazing. It looks amazing through the fall and spring, and then you try to get the rye transitioned out and let the Bermuda take back over. But on a sports field or a golf course, you're usually mowing pretty low and you're trying to have play. So you got a real tight canopy. If you're mowing a tee box at a half inch or less these days, it's a pretty dense canopy. So they're going to try to scalp it a little. They're maybe going to verticut a couple directions. Yeah. Several directions a lot of times, just trying to thin that canopy to get seed down. But they'll spread seed, and you may say, guys, I've done it with an old piece of carpet behind a golf cart. I've done it with a piece of chain link fence.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're just trying to. You're dragging the area after you seed. You're dragging it, and you're just trying to get that seed through that canopy down to the soil, and then start watering and just get it established. A lot of people talking about what timing. You're trying to get your first base down, like Drew's saying, sometime late September, early October. Sports fields that have a ton of play, they may come through once a month. They may have a couple home games. The turf gets damaged because it's kind of soft, it's immature. They'll come back and seed again during a break. Maybe they're going to be on a road game or a road stand. Yeah. They'll come back through the winter and overseed a little bit.
Years ago, before Vanderbilt went artificial turf, they were one of our larger customers with our ryegrass, and Bill Randalls, who was the groundskeeper over there, he would overseed after every home game. Mm-hmm. He would put 400 or 500 pounds of ryegrass on his field after every home game.
Well, another thing too with the Bermuda is to make sure that when we're overseeding that perennial rye, because we get this question a lot, you want to make sure too that the rate's correct. Because obviously at a fescue rate, that's going to be that 5-6 pounds per thousand on a straight overseeding. With Bermuda, we're going to be, if we're overseeding ryegrass into that Bermuda, it's going to be about double that to make sure. Because we've had some homeowners that have came in and said, I did ryegrass on top of my Bermuda, and it was just real spotty because they went at that fescue rate. They went that 4 to 5 to 6 pounds per thousand. And so on that, you can be 8 to 12. At Union University baseball, that's a customer of ours, they're 10 to 12. They really pack that ryegrass in there, and it's beautiful. It's so don't be scared to shuck that ryegrass because you don't want, obviously you don't want it to be kind of spotty. So if you're low into the rate on that perennial, you'll kind of get that spotty look. And so make sure you're on that high end of that rate just to get that carpet, that lush carpet look.
Even though it's overseeding, you're doing kind of a bare dirt rate because there's no established turf there.
That's right.
That you're
establishing the holding stand.
And the Bermuda, if you're not thick enough, that dormant Bermuda will show because it's complete on the color scale. Dormant Bermuda and green grass are on opposite ends.
Right.
So any type of light areas,
you're gonna see it.
You're gonna see it. Yeah, you're gonna see it.
Yeah. So you guys have already mentioned perennial ryegrass. One of the questions is overseeding with perennial rye versus annual rye.
If you love to mow, like mowing is just your obsession, you can mow annual rye. And the thing is naturally annual rye is very yellow. It looks like that Super Thrive model. It doesn't have a pretty color, and it grows. They grow annual rye for a crop. It's it's just like putting wheat in your yard. Like if you planted wheat in your yard, it's going to grow like crazy.
Yeah.
And so it grows and it's really yellow. So hey, my yard's yellow. What do I want to do? Well, I want to fertilize it. Okay, now you're going to really mow. And so when the weather is good, you could go out there and mow annual rye 2 or 3 times a day to keep.
Yeah.
Most people that do it are mowing it really tall and just knocking the top off of it, but it doesn't look like a turf to me. It's more erosion control and things like that.
It's got its spot, but for a playing surface, it's wet, it's slick.
Yeah.
Like being on grass, it's just such a thick blade. And holds a lot of moisture in there. Where your perennial ryegrass is now are really fine bladed. Can really take that
it's
tight
turf
mowing.
tight. Yeah.
You can't mow annual ryegrass tight. You're always going to have some height on there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like what we talk about at the store so much, and a common term that we always use is like you got to know its place. It's like know its place, and then also with annual, especially is like. I think that people like it so much because it's like almost instant gratification. Like that germination window for annual ryegrass, it's so fast. You'll see it 3, 4, 5, 6. It's boom, it's up, it's growing, but it's really not. It's not made for the lawn as much. Like JB said, it's like, hey, we've got a hillside that we're having some erosion issues, and that's it. Same thing with the fescues too. You can get back into. I know, like you can go to a farmer's co-op or something and get a bag of Kentucky 31, which by nature, yes. It is a fescue, right? But it's more of a pasture type situation where, like, what we're selling is true turf type tall fescue, and they're just by DNA, they're not comparable. So that's why we're so big on, hey, read these labels, do a little research on it, and that's why coming into Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply has been so good for a lot of our customers. Is like at every single location we have guys that are willing and want to talk to you about these differences in these variations of these turf grasses.
Yeah.
And with a rye too, if you're not willing to mow it, or annual rye, you're not willing to mow it, you're going to have clippings. If you try to mow it once a week, they're going to be baling hay. It's going to be scalp looking. Like it's just you need to know what you're getting into if you're going to put it in a lawn.
Whatever you're doing with it at the end of the season, you're going to have all that to deal with.
Yeah.
To get that.
All the first day
the first day it dies.
Yeah.
You
When they
don't want to
predict
miss.
90 on the weather forecast, it
And
starts
it's
dying.
gone, man.
It's falling
It's
on
gone.
its face.
And
How long after, Jason? How long after you plant that perennial rye should you wait to cut it?
We talked in the other video about making sure it's attached. You can grab the leaf tip and pull up on it, and as long as it's holding on. But we get the question about when should I mow new seed, whether ryegrass, fescue, whatever it is, Bermuda. Even if we were in summertime talking about that, the way a grass plant works, those leaves are like solar panels, right? So it's providing energy for that plant. There's a hormone produced in the leaf tip. And so when that plant sprouts and it puts out one really long leaf, it's telling that plant, we got plenty of light, man, we're good. We are good. And people think, I want to let it get tall and stay off of it. Well, if you'll clip that leaf tip off, it says, hey, man, we're not going to catch enough light. We need more solar panels. we got to grow more leaves.
Yep.
So the more you can cut a plant, especially in the fall and spring when it likes the weather. When we start getting summer and it's stressing, let's let it get 4 or 5 inches tall, whatever you want to do. But if you're growing a plant in the fall and spring that likes it, you can mow it a little more often. But let's say it's fescue. We let it get to 3 inches tall and you can cut it, good sharp blades, take your time, clean it up. If you can mow it twice a week, I think it comes in better than if you mow once a week. If you're just going out there and you're just taking those leaf tips off, because it's telling that plant, I've got to grow new leaves, I got to grow new leaves. Fescue won't run across this table like Bermuda would, but it will till her out. It'll mature. But it'll either grow one big one or a bunch of new ones. And so we want to just keep clipping that leaf tip off. Same thing with rye. I mean, it works the same way. If you're, in the lawn height and it gets 2-3 inches tall and you want to cut it. Golf is going to be at a half inch. They're probably out there mowing it once it'll hold. So, but just too many people, I think, that come in here are afraid to mow. They think they're doing the grass a favor by letting it get really tall before they go out there and cut it. And really, you're stressing it, because if you let it get 6 or 7 inches tall, the best mowers you can buy are maybe going to go 5 inches high, and you're taking so much off. Now you've stressed a new plant that don't have a mature root system. Where if you just, as soon as you can take those leaf tips off, take them off, clean it up, and you'll see it mature better. Everything. So
you use common sense, and don't mow it when it's wet. Let it dry out a little bit, and don't try to mow it to be done in 15 minutes to go watch the kickoff of the ball game. Take your time, take it slow, and just take care of it. It's a baby.
Yeah, we get a few people here and there throughout the year during this time that will want to overseed their Bermuda with fescue. How y'all feel about that?
Competition. I mean, the reason that the window works so well here for the scheduling is because with that perennial rye, whenever you'll start seeing they'll come out in May. That's like if you have our warm season turf schedule, it says this. It's really important when May comes around to get that ryegrass off of that Bermuda. Because we've seen a lot of people, and they'll tell you, people that have just not done it for time or whatever the reason may be, that have just let that ryegrass, or it could be fescue, the one die out on its own. It really hampers that Bermuda long term going into the season. You really want to spray it out, and we have whether it's Revolver is the best one, cost wise though, it can be an expensive water based herbicide, so it's going to be expensive. But you go out there and you clean it up, then after that you want to make sure that that Bermuda can get healthy. So with fescue by nature is not like ryegrass. They're both cool season, but they're a little different. But ryegrass is a lot easier. If you're just going to go out there, one spray Revolver, kill it, it's going to be a whole lot cleaner than if you're having to fight that fescue in the spring, because that fescue is going to be real, real healthy too, just like the ryegrass kind of together.
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest parts about that, people that want to do the fescue Bermuda, because I've seen some really pretty yards in Middle Tennessee that are blended. But the hard part of a blended yard like that is that typically that area over there is a little sunnier, a little drier, and you'll have a patch of Bermuda there, a patch of fescue here, a patch of Bermuda there. When the Bermuda goes dormant, all of a sudden you have these green just patches everywhere. And even in the summer when everything's kind of green together, they don't really look the same. So trying to keep a uniform yard that's kind of a Bermuda base with some fescue in it is hard to do. Now if you can do it, I think they look pretty good. If you don't have irrigation and you're just trying to kind of mow stuff tall and let that Bermuda will be kind of green, maybe when the fescue's struggling. The fescue's going to be prettier in the spring and fall. But again, it's trying to keep it even. Like, in the fall, you're probably going to have to go those areas that are Bermuda. Maybe just spray them with something to stun it, cut them down low, maybe a little extra seed in those areas, lighter seed in the others. Like, you're just trying to even everything back out. But it's I'm not going to say you shouldn't ever do it. I mean, I've seen a lot of yards.
Probably every, any lots over 3 to 5 acres are probably a Bermuda fescue lawn.
In Tennessee, they're going to be. In Tennessee, they're going to be.
But I kind of always recommended just those Bermuda areas, just really aerate them real, real heavy, seed it a little bit heavier, and treat the lawn like it's fescue. Just do your maintenance on a fescue schedule. And it's probably going to be okay, and getting that seed heavy kind of takes that camouflage look out of it.
But it's funny. I've got a friend that's we were golf course superintendents together, and he maintains I'm not going to say what it is. It's a really high-end golf course. It's nice, big homes, and they have a lot of landscape common areas around the clubhouse, flowers, all the stuff. I want it to be fescue. I want it to be pretty all year round. And I was with him one day. We're riding. We're checking irrigation, but he goes, "You like my what do you call it? Fescuda?" like this fescue up here. Yeah, that's what we talk about when we drive up there, and it's a roundabout, so it's asphalt, curbing, sign in the middle, flowers, about 3 passes with a push mower, and when you drive in, it looks like a fescue lawn. It's pretty, but if you go up there, it's a mat of Bermuda that's just thick. And his whole thing is, he's like, I don't charge anything about it because it's so established. I'm not going to get it out of here probably ever. I'll fight it forever. He said, I've got the fescue thick enough now that it looks like fescue mostly. So, but when that fescue's really struggling and it's hot, he said, because even where I'm at with this asphalt and everything that's going on, it's hard even with water to maintain this. So it looks, he said, most people think it's just a fescue lawn. He said, but that Bermuda under there's green, he got that little base to it. He said, it just buys me a little grace, it looks good.
People kind of start, the only downside of that is, everybody loves the stripes. Everybody's stripe hunting, especially with the fescue. They wanted it 4.5, 5 inches, rolling that grass over, making the clean stripes. The summertime, that Bermuda it doesn't roll as well, with the fescue, so you can see those patches of Bermuda. So that's kind of like the one downside. But it's inevitable. In Tennessee, it's inevitable. You're gonna have it. And there's people that are trying to kind of replicate what you're talking about, because I guess what is it? Blue Muta's like the new one that they're trying to replicate the bluegrass and Bermuda mix, and because
Good idea.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's where we live in Middle Tennessee. A little bit different maybe in the East Tennessee area or in the higher elevations.
Kentucky,
but in this transition zone, we're going to get hot and we're going to get cold.
Yeah.
So you've kind of either, and it's probably your microclimate. It might work for you, but we might go to your house and it doesn't work for you.
Right.
Yeah. Pick your poison. That's
So
what we did here.
Mother Nature will let you do what you want to do.
That's right.
So if you had a list of in order, it'd be to overseed Bermuda, it'd be perennial rye, then annual if you had to.
It'd be perennial, and then perennial.
Yeah, perennial is third. And fescue's down here at number 10.
Right.
I'd probably go perennial ryegrass, and then pre-emergent would be the
absolutely.
Let it be dormant.
Or paint.
Paint it if you want it to be green. Paint it. Keep the weeds out of it. I do perennial rye over my Bermuda at my house, and if you drove by, I'd probably get fired right now. But I've left the perennial rye in. I live on a rock. It's really rocky, no irrigation. I left the rye. The rye looked beautiful until about the end of July, because the new ryes, these new perennial ryes, you have to spray them out.
They hold on.
They've actually tried to breed what they call intermediate, because the perennials have gotten so good they hang on longer.
Yeah.
But while they're hanging on, like once you go into that April, May, and Bermuda's trying to green up, they're competing for food like water.
Yeah.
They're competing against each other. They're weeds in each other's stand, basically. But so most professionals would spray it out. I don't care.
Let it ride.
So I let mine ride. And
Plumber's pipes always leak, man.
Yeah, but it looked really good. It looked really good up, especially this year. We had kind of a mild, it was raining some. Every time it struggled, it rained.
Had a great wet spring.
Perked back up. Yeah. But then, we went out of town into July. I came home and it looked like a cardboard box.
Arizona.
And my Bermuda is really thin. It's because I've left the rye in it. I had some other issues when I seeded the rye. It had gotten kind of thin, had some grubs, had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
But overseeded rye, it looked amazing. People would stop, what'd you do to your yard?
Yeah.
And it was rye. Looked like that all the way through spring.
Yeah.
But I don't want to mow in July and August anyway.
I know, man.
Right. Let it ride. It's going to
ride.
look terrible. I'm going to seed it in about a week or two, and it'll be back.
Yeah.
But
keep rock and rolling.
Yeah, but it's you just got to know what you're getting into.
You got to fight the battles, right? Because that's what we tell people all the time. It's like, hey, you're going to have battles, but pick the ones that are more favor you a little bit, you know. And so that's why whenever people ask, because there really is with the condition that we have in Middle Tennessee about the poana. So sometimes we tell people with poana being such a problem now that, hey, sometimes let's take a year off from overseeding and let's do that next pre-emergent. And the thing that makes poana so tough is there's really no exact time that it germinates. It kind of varies year to year. And so we tell people, hey, get your overseeding in, but then when you would normally overseed, let's pre-emerge again. And then we get to paint and we do some things, because there's an athletic field that I deal with right now. It's actually Union baseball, very pretty. It's a pretty complex out there. Union University is really pretty, but they're starting to get these big patches of poana, and they've been spraying them out with the ethofumizate. But what's happening is it's leaving the big patches, because the patches are so aggressive that when they spray them out, we've got big problems there. And then if you choose to seed those again, which is what we did last year, then you're kind of an 8 ball in that next pre-emergent. So there's nothing wrong at all with giving a year off to do paint in that pre-emergent. And then if you do rye, what's so important too is that dormant spray. Glyphosate out whenever we're in full dormancy. That's really a good cleanup to do on that dormant warm season grass that a lot of people think is crazy when you tell them, hey, you're going to go out there and spray Roundup on this. They're like, what? Because they don't really get it. Like, hey, that grass is completely dormant.
Know your rates. Know what you're doing when you do that. Yeah. Don't just go out there and throw it out because you can damage that root system.
Check for green in the canopy, like those stolons are green. And the one thing.
Go ahead.
Well, the one thing I think people need to remember too when we're talking about overseeding. Again, I mean, it's healthier and easier if you really want Bermuda to be your primary stand and that's what you like. It's probably better to pre-emerge or paint or whatever and keep weeds out of it because you're going to have to. There's going to be a period in the spring if you're trying to have a good Bermuda yard that you're going to have to get rid of the rye and you're going to have to kind of reestablish the Bermuda a little bit. Like you're not starting from scratch. We're not, but you're going to have to get the rye out of the way, fertilize that Bermuda, get it back to where you want it to be. So there's that transition period.
It's in May, a lot of times.
Like sports turf guys, they're going to try to do it at the end of one season before the next season. They're transitioning it out, get it back healthy, get it going.
A lot of times it's graduation. That's kind of what people, because they want to, graduation's coming up and they'll kill it right after graduation. They'll have it green, they'll have graduation, then the day after they'll just
spray it. But just know if you decide, I want to pre-emerge or I want to overseed because I want it to be pretty in the fall and spring, it's great, it will be, but just know you're going to have a little period there where you're going to have to you're reestablishing. Like it's not just going to go from one to the other and you're going to be happy. You're going to have to do a little work in that springtime.
Know what you're doing with your tag on that perennial ryegrass, because a lot of times that's where that annual bluegrass comes in. That poahanna's in that bag of perennial ryegrass. Yeah. Know where you're buying it. Don't cut dollars right there. Buy a good quality perennial ryegrass from somebody reputable. Especially on your sports turf, because once you get that poahanna in there, man, it's hard to get.
It's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare.
Know what you're getting.
Yeah. You guys have already touched on it a little bit, but some people, when I tell them paint it, they look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like, "What are you talking about?" Jason, you want to talk just a little bit about turf paint with Bermuda?
Yeah, I mean, if you want color, there's a lot of guys going to it, and it goes back to what I was just saying. I mean, so if you're wanting the healthiest Bermuda, year round, you would pre-emerge in the spring, pre-emerge in the fall, trying to keep all the weeds out of it, keep it clean, keep it healthy, and that's the easiest. But if you have to have color, if you're a sports turf or certain golf, the membership wants color.
Some HOAs.
There's guys HOAs, home lawns. I mean, you want to outdo your neighbor, so you can go paint it, and it's going to give you the color. You've got that dormant turf don't just go away. I mean, you still have the canopy there. You paint it, it gives you color. You can do weed control that way. You're not, you can spray post-emergence, do pre-emergence. Yep. So it frees you up to do all those things. In the spring, they even talk about, like there's some golf courses that were doing it versus overseed when it was first becoming a thing. That darker color will help the soil warm up faster and absorbs heat. And, so I've talked to golf courses. They're like, hey, yeah, we painted. And, man, those fairways that we painted or tees that we painted, we mowed those 3 or 4 times before we did everything else because it absorbed a little heat. So, and it's now, I mean, it can be like waving a wand. You go out there, if you paint it right, it's overnight. I mean, it's that day when you get done, it's green.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to have to come back. It's not going to last all winter. You're typically going to have to come back and touch it up. Worry about that. But it looks.
It's pretty though, man. It's nice.
The paints are amazing.
I'm going to tell you what, you've got to have the right equipment and know what you're doing. You can make it look really rough if you've got a leak, if you've got some gaskets that aren't tight, or, man, I've seen some fields really that folks have struggled with messing it up. Yeah. So you have to know what you're doing and have the right equipment to do it.
And kind of get on that rain too.
Yeah, great.
You can't go. The one key to that, I mean, turf is 3-dimensional. It's not. We're not painting this table that's flat. So if you just go one time over it from this direction,
it looks great.
You turn around and you're like, So like when those guys do it, you're going one direction, another direction, probably another direction. I mean, they're going over it several times to get kind of that 360 view where it looks painted. And you can get crazy with. There's guys that do darker paint, lighter paint, trying to make stripes. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do, and the colors are great now. They have a little yellow to them, make them look a little bit more natural. I mean, there's things you can do, but you practice and know what you're getting into, and you're not just one time across it.
Like, and that kind of opens your pre-emergent window,
exactly.
right?
You can
Get
cut that
pre-emergent.
post snap, man.
Yeah.
You can cut that post snap. Go ahead, Drew.
I
Sorry.
was going to say, a lot of those weeds you see in Bermuda grass in the early season are actually germinating in September and October.
Yep.
So you have to get that pre-emergent down. I mean, I like going down the last of August, but definitely in September to cut those winter annuals is what they're called. So, it definitely frees you up to do that.
And UT now, like last time we were at UT, they're saying in Bermuda, like for POA, September 1st. Have it out by September 1st.
Yeah, because you don't
All
know
it
when it's
takes
going
is
to germinate.
a couple cool nights and a little rain. I mean, you leave there, they have you thinking POA's going to take over the world.
Yeah.
It might.
You should see those patches out of Union, man. I think. Yeah, man.
But it's by September 1st will be the key.
But like Drew said, I mean,
But late's better
deal
than
about
never.
About it's in the grass seed, 100%. If you're buying that low level grass
More
seed, that's
likely.
where it's coming from.
But do that. If you hadn't done the pre-emergent, do it. Don't just because you didn't get it down September 1st. Don't not
do it.
100% of them don't germinate September 1st. They'll germinate over the fall.
Right.
The ones we miss, but we're stopping the rest. But if we get out early enough, we'll stop as many as we can.
Yeah.
So that's the key.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. This has been insightful. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. You can find one of our 10 locations at our website at www.dickenssupply.com. See you next time.